This is Swinger One here. I got a hold of the machine shop. I'm going to run these heads over and drop them off. These are my J's with the 202s that I bought last year or the year before for 280. I believe I paid just under 300 for them. I could tear them apart myself and clean them up, but I want to get the deck surface milled, everything. I want to get the valve guides if they need smoothed over, which I assume they do. I think I pulled a valve out of it and there was some play in it. It looked like they'd already been knurled. So I suspect these heads been knurled and somebody popped 202s into them. I don't think they're factory 202s, but I can't verify that. I didn't totally disassemble them. I was going to, but I decided that I'm just going to pay somebody to do it. Have these basically simmering on the back burner while I focus on my upholstery job and getting my floor poured for 15. So this is what it is. I might pay $600 to get these redone. So I have $850 into them. But, you know, a lot of guys say buy the Speedmasters. That's great. But they're over $1,000. And you end up having to send them to a machine shop also. I'm just going to rebuild these old cast iron Mopar parts. And there's no way I can say it's cheap. I don't know. I don't want to even argue that. Guys that say this stuff's cheap, the guys that are doing it cheap would throw these heads on an engine, run them the way they are. And the car would run like shit. I don't know if people know, but if you have a loose valve guide, really loose, the intake charge will suck air in around the guides. Then you have a lean mixture in that cylinder. And it just leads to all kinds of problems. So there is some viability to getting your stuff rebuilt. When you rebuild an engine, you want to tighten things up. That's just the short version. But as you see, they are the J's. See the J there? They're 360J heads. I think it says 360 right there. They should be 915s. Yeah. There's the 915. I mean, you guys that follow the channel have seen these before, I think. Or maybe you've seen my other set. But the other set's ready to go. I'm going to throw them on a shelf. I guess I better grease the surfaces so they don't rust up. I can do anything from them from throwing them onto a 318. Or I'm thinking I'd like to find a 360 short block. Or even a whole 360 core and rebuild the short block, and then I got a set of heads ready to go for it. What I would do with a 360, personally, I would just ditch the pistons. The pistons in the 360 are low compression dished. I would get a 360 and maybe overboard the block and put some zero deck pistons in it, throw the heads on it, and I would run it. I would run that. But I'm a street engine guy. I mean, I'm not building race engines. I mean, most people out there be like, put a stroker kit in all of them. That's great. But between 300 and 400 horse for me on the street is fine. It's all in what you're doing. And I just wanted to throw this little update up. And I will let you guys know what this cost. I think my last set, I put a set of heads. I put those 188J heads in last year. They were about $480, but the castings were clean, so the guy didn't run the castings through his cleaner. This one here, he's going to have to disassemble this, and probably, I think he shot peens them. He has some kind of cleaning machine that really strips everything down. So I'm going to end up paying extra for that. So I saved that money last time. He said, hey, your castings were clean. I didn't run them through my shot peen process. I think I had paid to have them glass beaded years before. I had those heads apart before, and the guides were knurled, and I just wanted them tightened up. I think he brass sleeved some guides on the 188 heads. I'm assuming he's going to do the same on these. He's basically going to tear it down. It's like a la carte. He runs it through his shot peen machine. I got to pay for that. He runs it over the milling machine. I got to pay for that. Going to do the valve job and the guides. Got to pay for that. It's like a la carte. Everything adds up. So I'll go over there today, drop these off. He's probably going to want like a $200 deposit. Balance due upon pickup. He's saying he may have them 5 weeks. That's fine. You got to be patient. Sure, I'd love to have him back next week, but it's not how it works. The guy's backed up. I just get my spot in line. I've worked in shops. I'm assuming if it was me, I would imagine he's in his shop working on other stuff, and he'd probably spend a day disassembling these or a couple hours, right? Because it might take 2 hours to get a valve spring compressor and just pull all the valves out of these heads. Then the next day he'll come in, do some more work on another job, and then throw these in his shop painting machine. He'll clean the castings. The machine does that work. It's like multitasking. Then he'll get them cleaned up like a third day. Then he'll set them on the bench. And then maybe he'll spend half a day on the fourth day grinding the valve seats. He has to polish the valves. That's going to be a couple hours. Like, he's probably not working on these heads all day till they're done. He's doing a couple hours here and there, stretched out over weeks, is my point. That's why it takes time to get something like this done. And when they say 5 weeks, it's because they're not stopping their other work to just knock your job out for $500. Like, imagine if he did that. Like, his shop would just bring in $500 for the week if it took him a week to do these heads. So that's not how it works. He's jumping around multitasking, doing one step one day, the next step the next day, the next step the next day, and then he'll get where he final assembles them. And that is pretty much the business. I mean, that's how I would see it going down if I was running that machine shop. Because you can't make money spending 2.5 days on a $500 in a row. You got to keep the cash flow coming into the shop, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you guys out there that have shops know what I mean. All right, enough of my rambling. I'm going to sign off and run these over there because I got to have them over there within the next half hour because the guy's going to lunch. All right, peace out.